guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to start a reading vlog. I got the idea for this vlog just by working. If you don't know already, I am a bookseller at Barnes & Noble, and as I have been working, I have noticed that a lot of people will come in and they will come to the customer service desk, which is where I'm at a lot, and they will ask for specific books. If we have them in stock, where can they find them, all that good stuff. And as I was helping people find things, I would have a conversation with them about the book. And, sometimes I've read it, sometimes I haven't heard of it. And then I started getting some requests for books that I know because I have them and they're on my TBR. I have them at home. I want to read them. I just haven't picked them up yet. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to have the next 3 books that I read be chosen by the customers, basically. So when someone comes in and they're looking for a specific book and I help them find it, if it's one that I have on my TBR at home, like I already own it, I am going to pick that book and I'm going to read it next. So I'm going to do that for the next 3 books that customers approach me and ask help finding for. So I don't know how long it'll take to get to 3 because, any day can be whatever at work. But I just thought it'd be fun. So the 3 books that I'm going to feature in this vlog, I don't even know what they are yet, are going to be books that customers have asked me for that I help them find, but they are on my TBR and I have them at home. So that's kind of how this is going to work. So as soon as I get the first one, I will show you what it is and I will get started on reading it. So I think this will be fun because I have no idea what people are ever going to come in and ask help looking for. So enjoy. All right, guys, we got our first book. So I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. I picked this up when I went to Savannah with my best friend in 2018. So I have had this book for 4 years. So time to read it, right? So I'm excited about this one. This is a nonfiction and it follows the search for the Golden State Killer, which I believe is now done. They have arrested somebody for this, but Michelle McNamara was really one of the big people who spent a lot of time searching for him. And she ended up passing away before he was arrested, which makes me sad. But this is a lot about her investigation. So this is part her writing because she was in the middle of writing this book as well when she passed, and then part her team who was helping her put together some of the things that were missing with her notes and with articles that she was referencing and old investigations and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a mix with both, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm excited to get into this. I think I'm going to actually listen to the audiobook of this one. I have heard that the audio is pretty good and it does have a foreword by Gillian Flynn, which makes me very happy because I love her. And also Patton Oswalt, who is her husband, Michelle McNamara's husband. So yeah. Okay. So we're going to get started. And my first book is a true crime nonfiction. Love that. Hey guys. Okay. I have an update for I'll Be Gone in the Dark. I have listened to this in maybe 3 really good sessions because I'm listening when I'm driving / grocery shopping. So my 2 big grocery shopping trips that I've made so far this year have been listening to this, and that is always, I listen to a big chunk because I'm driving, I'm grocery shopping, I'm driving home, I'm putting away. The entire time I'm listening to audiobooks. So I am more than halfway through this book now. So sorry, this is the first update, but I have thoughts. Okay, so I'm listening to this, like I said. This is narrated by, I wrote her name down, Gabra Zachman. And then there is a foreword that is written and read by Gillian Flynn, who is one of my favorite people. And then there's going to be an afterword narrated by Patton Oswalt, who is Michelle McNamara's husband. So he's going to be at the end as well. but I loved what the foreword was as well. So the narration is good. Here's the issues I'm having. So this book is definitely descriptive. So you are getting the descriptions of the murders and how the victims were found and what this person, was doing. So there's no holding back on that for sure. And so since I know that this was written or completed after Michelle McNamara's death, I can tell. It is telling you ahead of time, like when you're about to start a chapter, like these were taken from notes and blah, blah, blah. So, okay. So you kind of know that it's not Michelle's full narration in that. The problem I'm having is it jumps around so much to the point where I'm losing the progression of the killer. So I'm not understanding, how he escalated and where he was moving around. And, because as things go further, obviously things get worse and worse because they need more and more to satisfy them. But I'm not really getting that because it's jumping around so much. And I'm like, is this his first known victim or is this his 15th known victim? I don't know. So I'm getting a little bit lost in the timeline because it's not a linear timeline and it's hard for me to follow that in here. I don't know if that was the intention of Michelle McNamara or if that was done afterwards. I'm not quite sure, but it's throwing me off. And there's also so many names in here are changed or synonyms or whatever, to protect people's privacy, which I completely understand. But every time she says a name and it's not their real name, it'll say not her real name or not his real name. And I'm like, I don't care at this point if it's people's real names or not. And I'm kind of like, every time it's said, I'm just like, so it's just kind of, it's one of those things that's just kind of like, it's a poke every time. And I'm just like, just say majority of these names are changed and it's fine. If I want to find someone's real name, or not find their real name, but like if I want to see if this is someone's real name, I'll Google myself. I don't need to like be told. So it's kind of, it's a little bit jarring. So there's that. But mostly the timeline is what I'm having the issue with. Now, the descriptions of the crime scenes are very well done. I can easily see it. And I don't know. I'm not really getting the motivations yet. I don't know if that's something that's even really known at this point. So that may be something like I finished this book and I still don't know his motivations. Maybe we'll never know. So I guess we'll see. But I just finished part 1. I think there are 3 parts in this book from what I'm understanding. So I just finished part 1. I'm about to start part 2. So maybe I'll just update you after part 2 and let you know that. But yeah, definitely just kind of jumping back and forth so much that it's just like, And then I just passed the part where there's some pictures included. So I'm going to sit down and take a look at those since obviously I didn't while I was listening to it. So I'll sit down and take a look at those and see what those are all about. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting book, the way that it's laid out. And I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it quite yet. I'm definitely not enjoying it as much as I was hoping I would when I, bought this book, but we'll see. So I will let you know after I finish part 2. Hey guys. Okay. I just finished I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. Now, I said I was going to update you on part 3 when I got there, but part 3 was like almost the end. So it kind of seemed a little redundant to update you then. So I just went ahead and finished it. And I have some thoughts. Okay. So I mentioned earlier that it jumped around a lot in the timeline. That stayed true throughout the whole book. That caused me to have a hard time understanding this killer's timeline, understanding where he was when, how they were able to piece things together. So it just, the whole time I was reading it, I felt like they were getting information and they were getting clues and they were getting leads, but I couldn't fully understand how they were putting it all together. So I struggled with that. So how do I feel about it? I don't know. I'm very middle of the road, I guess. I understand her passion. I admire her passion 100%. Was she a big part of how this man was captured? Because he apparently has been captured now. That's up in the air. There's people who say she is, there's people who say she isn't. So I don't know. I think she's getting more credit for keeping the case in public interest versus actually catching the specific person, because the person who has been arrested was never on their radar. So there is that. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I was expecting out of it, but I just heard so many good things about it and that was amazing and blah, blah, blah. And for me, it just kind of feels like a 3-star read because of how hard it was for me to follow the timeline, because there wasn't really one. And there's a lot of other cases that were mentioned in here that had nothing to do with this that got a little bit confusing as well. And I was like, why are we talking about this case? It has nothing to do with this case. And did you think he was a suspect? And yeah, it was just kind of a whole thing. So I don't know. So I'm going to give it 3 stars. It was definitely interesting. I admire her. And I'm glad the guy's caught now. But yeah, so. All right, but first book is complete. All right, guys, so book number 2 is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Now, this one is on the Great American Reads list, so that's why I have it on my shelves. So this will knock that off, which is nice. This is 167 pages, so it's short, definitely. And the audiobook real time is 4 hours. I do not listen to audiobooks real time because it goes very slow. So I listen to at least 1.5. I kind of start off on 1.5, get used to the narrator, get used to how the book is written, the language, all that stuff. And sometimes I can up it to 2 times speed. Sometimes I need to keep it at 1.5. Sometimes I can do 1.75. Just kind of depends on the narrator and how easily I am able to follow the book. So we're going to start on 1.5, see how it goes. But the narrator is Jeremy Irons. So I'm very excited about that. I've never listened to a book narrated by him, so I think that'll be really interesting. And he has a great voice. So we are going to get started on this. And since it's so short, I'll see if I can update you like when I'm about halfway through, kind of let you know my thoughts. I have 0 ideas about what this is even about. I have no idea. I literally picked it up because it's on the Great American Reads list. I have no idea what it's about. I really don't. So I'm just going to go into it completely blind, and we'll see what I end up thinking. Hey guys. Okay, I am halfway into this book. I'm actually currently listening while I'm making dinner right now. I don't know. This feels very slice of life, which isn't necessarily my favorite because that tends to put you right in the middle of a situation without having any background knowledge or time to care about what's happening to the character. So we're following this young boy named Santiago, and you know, you're just like right in the middle. You kind of start the story like in the middle of him with a desire to basically see the world. And he ends up joining this caravan that is traveling across Egypt, and you know, people he's meeting and things like that, and things he's experiencing and learning along the way. So it's kind of like a discovery, like a self-discovery, if you will, for him. Just the problem I have is I don't care about Santiago. I don't know him. I just, and yeah, I don't know. That's the problem I have with like short stories or just really short pieces of work that just throw you right into the middle and you get like a little sliver of this person's life. That's great, but I don't care because I don't know him. So that's kind of what's happening right now. It's interesting to hear the descriptions of the landscapes and where they're going and all that stuff. That's actually described really beautifully. So the writing is really like nicely done. I just don't necessarily care about Santiago and what he's doing. So it's interesting. And the narration by Jeremy Irons is phenomenal. So I will give it that. But I'm halfway through, so I will continue on. Probably won't finish it tonight. I got to finish up dinner, and then we're going to be doing some other stuff. But definitely I can finish it tomorrow, so that's good. So obviously very quick read. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts right now. Not really sure, but I'll let you know tomorrow when I finish it. Hey guys. Okay, so I finished The Alchemist this morning. I didn't like it. There's this issues I was having yesterday when I was halfway through the book remained the same. I just didn't understand the point of this at all. It was very much a slice of life, which is fine, but we just followed this boy traveling through the desert, meeting a bunch of people. He meets the alchemist, who's, I guess, people were seeking out as well. He meets a girl, and the second time he even sees her, he tells her he wants to marry her. Okay, like he'd not even spoken a word to her before, and that like the first words out of his mouth was he wants to marry her. Okay, so I don't know, man. I didn't get it. I don't understand why this is deemed as a must read, as important. Yeah, I don't know. The writing was good as far as the structure, like, and the, just the writing piece of it was good. The narration, again, by Jeremy Irons was fantastic. But the story I didn't care. So I didn't get it. I kind of felt that way through the whole book. I was like, what's the point of this? So I'm giving it 2 stars. And that's just solely based on my preference and my personal reading of the book. And I just didn't have a good time reading it. So those are my thoughts on that. All right, last book, and I am so excited. I'm so excited for this one, guys. This is a cozy fantasy book about an orc who wants to retire from the battlefield and open a coffee shop in her village, and that's what she does. I've heard that this is just cozy and makes you feel good. It's a light fantasy, so it's a fantasy, but it's not complicated. There's not, death on the horizon or anything like that. It's just a warm hug is what I'm hearing. And that's just kind of what I need right now. I need a warm hug. So I am very excited about this book. I did get the UK cover of this because I love it. It is a hardcover. It does have the US cover art on the inside. So if that looks more familiar, that's what I'm reading. But I am very, very excited to read this. So we are going to get started, and I will let you know my thoughts along the way. Hey guys. All right. I am sitting down to read a chunk of this book because I have about 45 minutes until I need to start getting ready to go somewhere else. So I was like, you know what? I have 45 minutes that I can just sit and I can read and I can relax. So I'm going to do that right now. So I am working on Legends and Lattes very slowly. And it's not the book. It's 100% me. It's time. We just finished our besties reading retreat and it was amazing, but that it was time consuming as well. All the prep to get ready for it and then doing the actual retreat. And then even afterwards, there was still stuff for us to do. So that did take up a big chunk of my time and attention, definitely for the past probably week and a half, just kind of prepping and getting ready for it. And so that definitely took some reading time away for me, but I'm ready to really just jump back in. I am on page 83. So it's definitely not going as quickly as I would like, but that's just time. I am really enjoying it. This is very charming so far. And, you know, we're following Viv, who is an orc who has decided to stop being a warrior basically in battle and open up a coffee shop. Like, she's literally retiring and just ready to relax and stay in one place for the rest of her life and open this coffee shop. Now, the interesting thing is that the place that she picks, nobody there has heard of coffee. So nobody knows what coffee is. And it's something that she discovered in some of her journeys and decided this could actually be a thing. And I love this. And so she's like introducing coffee to this village too, which is really cool. And right now we are kind of into where she's opening. But you went through the whole process with her, with finding the place and buying it and hiring help to get it ready, and what she had to do to get the coffee shop ready, and all the obstacles and all the things, and hiring help and doing all the stuff. Like, you walk through all of that with her, which is really cool because you're really getting to know Viv. So this book has made me laugh out loud a couple times, and it's just charming. It's just, you know, I don't know, it makes me feel good when I'm reading it. So I'm getting back into this right now. So I have my own cup of coffee here, and I'm going to drink this while I read about the lattes in here that the people are calling bean water, which is really funny. And let you know my thoughts. But so far, it's just adorable. Hey guys. All right. I am done. I finished this book last night and I really enjoyed it. I really, really liked it a lot. In the end, I gave it 4 stars, and here's why. I struggled a little bit with my rating because I really liked the book. It's exactly what it is advertised as. Like, it is a cozy fantasy book. It's complete fantasy, as in there's no humans. These are all, you know, mythical characters or completely made up species. And it's, you know, not set in our world. So it's 100% high fantasy, but low stakes. That literally, that's what this is. So there's not any big major conflicts. There is a little bit. There's stuff that happens. It's not, you know, boring by any means, but there's not any like really big epic, you know, twists and turns and battles and all that kind of stuff that you would normally get in a fantasy book. And I think that's something that I was craving a little bit. Like, there's a little bit, but there's not that much. So like, I kind of found myself wanting just a little bit more of that, I guess. So that's kind of the reason I gave it a 4 versus a 5. But it also doesn't promise that. So that's why I kind of struggled. I was like, but that's not what it promised. So why am I knocking off a star? But in the end, I really did enjoy it. I just didn't love it. Like, it's not a favorite by any means. But I really liked it a lot. I thought it was comforting, and the characters were all really great. My favorite character was Thimble. Oh my gosh, I love him. The description of the coffee and the food. Oh my gosh, I've never wanted a cinnamon roll more in my life, ever. Like, we went out to breakfast while I was reading this book, and I was like looking for cinnamon rolls, and the place didn't have it, and I was so disappointed because I just wanted a cinnamon roll after reading, you know, parts of this book. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time reading it. I will definitely pick up the next book. There is a prequel coming out that still features our main character, Viv, later this year, I believe. And so it'll be like a little bit more of her backstory and some things she went through. So I think maybe in that one, there might be a little bit more action, possibly. We'll see. There is also a short story in here at the end that I did read, which is it was just kind of like a little glimpse into Viv's past and kind of references something that is a theme throughout the book as well. So that was kind of cool to read that at the end. But yeah, I thought it was adorable. I really liked it. So gave this one 4 stars. Really glad that I ended up picking it up. So that's it. And I ended up with a 3-star, a 2-star, and a 4-star. So no 5-star books in this one. But that's okay. I have 3 books read off of my shelves, and I'm very happy to have those read. And I liked the complete randomness of it. I liked that one was a nonfiction. I loved that one was more of a literary fiction, and then a fantasy book. That was really cool too, to have like, different types of genres in there. So I really liked that. All right, let me know your thoughts down below. I really enjoyed doing a reading vlog like this, even though it took me a while, but that's okay. I have another one in mind with a different type of thing that's going to prompt me. So I'm going to start working on that here soon. And then I'll have that out when I'm done, whenever that's going to be. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.